Have you ever wanted to grow your own food in a small garden space? In this video, I'm going to show you how to easily create a raised bed garden and grow delicious fruits and vegetables with just a few simple steps. Hey everyone, this is Honeybees and Apple Trees, where our mission is to connect and educate homesteaders together. My name is Josh Wall, and I'm here to show you how to set up your own raised bed garden. With the right tools, some creativity, and a little bit of work from you, it's actually very easy to have your own productive vegetable garden, even in the tiniest of spaces. We started ours on less than 1/3 of an acre. Not only will you get to savor the sweet taste of fresh homegrown produce, but also save some money while doing so. So let me walk you through step by step on how to get started creating your own raised bed garden. Begin your raised bed garden experience by selecting an appropriate location. Look for a spot with plenty of sun and good drainage. For us, we decided that in the middle of the backyard would be perfect. It gets 8+ hours of sun and the soil drains very well. So these were the first two selections when deciding where to place our raised bed garden. Next up, it's time to map out with pencil and paper what your garden is going to look like. This is the end of the summer season, what ours looked like, but over the winter we started by dreaming about what this garden could be. We took our paper, pencil, we mapped everything out with accurate measurements. We decided where we wanted to place certain vegetables that wouldn't crowd one another. Soil consideration is another huge factor. When we planned our raised bed gardens, we realized that we had some soil, after conducting a soil test from our local USDA organization, that was going to be excellent for direct sowing. So we placed all of our sweet corn in direct sow conditions and followed the local USDA recommendations for improving and amending the soil. Now let's talk briefly about soil types for container gardening. So when you want to maximize the small space that you have, use every available container and start out with excellent soil. So we filled all of our raised bed gardens with the highest quality soil so that we wouldn't have as many weeds and so we wouldn't have to fertilize as often. Great tip is to always start with high quality soil. When we first started this process 10 years ago, we had limited space and less than 1/3 of an acre, so we used these great tower gardens. We still implement these for small vegetables like leafy vegetables like lettuce, as well as snow peas, which grow excellent in these tower gardens. Again, start with great soil, water often, and use a support structure as seen here to keep them growing upwards. Spinach, snow peas, lettuce, and other small leafy vegetables do excellent in these gardens. We've even had some success with squash and tomatoes as well, which has been encouraging to see. Now it's time to consider our integrated pest management solution. Here at Honeybees and Apple Trees, we prefer to use chemical-free living. So we do a lot of companion planting for plants that work well with others. For example, marigolds keep a lot of pests away from tomato plants. So you want to consider what companion plants are best to plant and how are you going to keep away those pests. Finally, the end of the season brings a bountiful harvest. So this year, just on less than 1/3 of an acre, we've brought in over 500 pounds of food using square-foot gardening in raised beds. We brought in strawberries, green beans, corn, pumpkins, squash, and all sorts of other small leafy vegetables. So now the question becomes, what do you do with all of that produce? So a lot of what we do involves canning. So we can dill pickles, but we also do a lot of canning of green beans as well. So to can green beans, you must have a pressure canner. A water bath canner will not work for things like green beans or other meat, things like that. But you can freeze a lot of different vegetables that you bring in from the garden. So we also freeze our green beans, we snap them, we freeze them. We turn our tomatoes into salsas, tomato sauces, and pastes to be able to be water bath canned. When it comes to sweet corn, we take it off the cob, we slice it, we boil it, blanch it, and put it into bags to freeze for the winter. So there's other techniques that you can use as well. So when you have this bountiful harvest that you've pulled in from small square foot gardening, you can put your vegetables into freezer-safe bags. For green beans in particular, we snap the ends off of them, we quarter them, break them into small pieces, and we store these. And then these are ready to use right away in casseroles and bean dishes and different things that we're able to use those for. So freezing is a great way to go. We had a huge harvest of tomatoes this year. Absolutely beautiful assortment and variety, rainbow of different tomatoes. So what can you do with those? Well, water bath canning works for salsas and tomato sauces, pizza sauces, and pastes. So we do a lot of that. All you have to do is boil them, blanch them, grind them up, and be able to put them in. You can also dry them as well. If you have a dehydrator, grind them up and make them into a powder. So there could be a whole video done on all the different preservation types and techniques of things that you can do with your harvest. We just wanted to give you a small sampling of what to expect. Thanks for watching.